Hello, and welcome to episode number 19 of Zach's Tech Talk Tuesday. My name is Ryan McQueeney, and on this week's show, we'll be talking about all of the latest news coming from Tesla, and more specifically, we'll be reminding ourselves that sometimes the company's enigmatic CEO, Elon Musk, is to be taken with a grain of salt. Last week, Tesla unveiled the prototype for its first ever semi-truck. According to the reveal event, the Tesla Semi will be able to lug about 80,000 pounds at 65 miles an hour up a 5% grade to a claimed range of 500 miles. The truck will also have an aerodynamic drag coefficient that beats premium sports cars, and Tesla suggested that the use of new megachargers would provide a 400-mile charge in just 30 minutes. After revealing details of the Tesla Semi, Elon Musk channeled his inner Steve Jobs and announced one more thing, an update to the company's iconic Roadster sports car. Due out in 2020, the new Roadster promises to go 620 miles on a single charge and will go from 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Of course, the Roadsters are pricier, and this model will likely cost about $250,000. Now, I do want to give credit where credit is due. The reveal has been well received, and it looks like Tesla really keyed in on some of the major things that people were looking forward to. Analysts at Morgan Stanley said that the Semi, quote, appears to best current-to-diesel truck performance in almost every measurable way, and praised the event as the start of a, quote-unquote, new age of trucking. According to analysts at Bernstein, the event, quote-unquote, exceeded expectations on virtually all fronts. Nonetheless, some classic Elon Musk things happened, and I think it's time for investors to start recognizing when Musk is clearly trying to shift our attention somewhere that he would prefer. For one, it's strange, in my opinion, to unveil a new high-end car when you're struggling to churn out the consumer-level car that's supposed to be the real future of the company in terms of non-commercial driving. Of course, the other future of the company being the semi-truck. But what Musk said on Twitter about the new Roadster is even more strange. Over the weekend, Musk tweeted 2 follow-ups to the Roadster reveal, clarifying that a picture of the car was only a base model. But he also hinted at something else, saying, this is a direct quote from the tweet, not saying the next-gen Roadster special upgrade will definitely enable it to fly short hops, but maybe. Certainly possible, just a question of safety. Rocket tech applied to a car opens up revolutionary possibilities. That's the full tweet. Now, let's take a step back here. Does anyone legitimately think that Tesla is interested in getting into the flying car business? Is anyone actually interested in getting into the flying car business? Is the flying car business even a real thing? And more importantly, is there any sort of scenario in which a consumer car with rocket technology would have regulatory approval within the next 3 to 4 years? The answer to all of these questions is probably not. So why would Musk even bring this up? Well, I, of course, don't really have the power to ask him that question, and I'm not sure I would get a straight answer anyway. But I do think that what he chooses to say and tweet is typically carefully crafted. In other words, Musk tweeted this out because he wants that conversation to start up. He genuinely wants the Tesla is working on a flying car headlines. There's plenty of reasons why a major CEO would want to carefully control the public conversation surrounding his company, and this is certainly not the first time that Musk has gotten us talking about something relatively grand. As investors, though, it's important to remember that sometimes you have to take this guy with a grain of salt. Couple examples for you. During an earnings call in 2015, Musk told analysts that Tesla's market cap would be basically the same as Apple's is today by 2025. So at that time, Apple was sitting at a $700 billion valuation, and Tesla was at about a $25 billion valuation. That $25 billion valuation has just a little bit more than doubled in 2.5 years, but a leap to $700 billion by 2025 still seems pretty optimistic. In 2011, Musk said that he and SpaceX would have a man on Mars at best case scenario 2021, which was nearly 10 years ahead of NASA's plans. In 2014, Musk said that we are within a 5-year time frame for, quote-unquote, something seriously dangerous happening in relation to artificial intelligence and robotics. We're still waiting to hear more about SpaceX's plans to beat NASA to Mars, or whether we should be worrying about killer robots emerging within the next couple of years. Of course, these things are relatively easy to chalk up to as the inconsequential excitement of a genius with his eyes on the future. And I'm not saying Musk isn't that, and I'm not saying that these prior claims are really that big of a deal. But sometimes Musk is also wrong about very real and very consequential goals that have been set up for Tesla. As we'll remember, Tesla produced 260 of its Model 3 cars in the most recent quarter, which was significantly behind its goal of 1,500 cars. The company wanted to get to its 5,000 car per week target by December, but now it doesn't expect to get there until March. And while we're stuck on flying car tweets, this is exactly the type of stuff Musk doesn't want us to linger on. So again, I'm not really trying to make a case here as to whether the Tesla semi-reveal was a bullish or bearish event for the company. And I'm certainly really not taking a super deep look at the company's current fundamentals and making any sort of commentary on whether it's a solid investment idea right now. All I'm saying is that when it seems random that Musk would start randomly tweeting on a Sunday night or Sunday afternoon that his new car may or may not have flying rocket technology in it in a few years, you can probably assume that that's a thought-out example of Musk trying to shift our attention and trying to shift the conversation to a specific thing. So what I've grown to do after a couple of years of following Elon Musk on Twitter and listening to a lot of his public commentary, you really just have to look deeper into the overall context of what he's saying and think about the impact that it has on his companies and his own personal brand, and try to make a reasonable, educated decision about what it all means and not really just take it for its face value. That's all I have to say on the matter. And as a reminder, if you feel that I missed anything or if you want me to cover a different story, I'm always happy to hear from you at podcast@zax.com. Make sure to check out all of our other exclusive audio content at zax.com/podcasts. Remember to subscribe and leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts. As always, thanks for listening to the Zax Tech Talk Tuesday. We will see you next time.